Hey, so after training countless network marketing professionals from all over the world for so many years, I've noticed some reoccurring trends and challenges people have consistently, one of which is recruiting. So today, we're gonna go over my 5-point recruiting method that works for 100% of the people that actually use it. It makes recruiting fun, and this is how me and lots of other people have been able to get to the top of personal production leaderboard and consistently sponsor 10, 20 or more new business partners each and every single week. And it makes it fun. It's actually fun to do. So it's not only very, very effective, but you'll enjoy doing it once you get the hang of it. So we're gonna go over these 5 steps. I'll give you some verbiage and some psychology of it at the end. Go ahead and grab something to take some notes with. Let's get started.
He comes on hard but nice. He's sincere, he is humble, but he is a powerhouse. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage,
All right, so let's get right into it. Grab something to take some notes with. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make recruiting fun for you, and we're gonna make sure that you have the mechanisms to be able to get to the top of any personal production leaderboard through recruiting, all right? And I'm gonna give you a 5-point recruiting method that I've been teaching to network marketing professionals for years, and 100% of the people that use it actually get results, right? And then I'll give you a little bit of psychology at the end. All right, so step number 1, or point number 1, is reach out and catch up. Very simple. So when you reach out and catch up, it might sound like something like, hey Steve, what's up man? How you been? How's life treating you? What's new? Very simple. Just shoot that to him in a text message and then take a sincere interest in whatever Steve has to say, because he's a human and connecting with people matters more so now than probably ever, okay? So make sure that you're taking a sincere interest in whatever he has to say. So reach out and catch up. Be brief so as not to be disingenuous, right? Step 2, share a story to pique interest. Now, you're the messenger, not the message. We let the tools do the telling and selling, right? All we do is want to get them interested. That's it. We pique interest, not satisfy interest. So make sure when you're reaching out and you're catching up and then you share your story on step 2, it's just a quick story, a very quick story used to pique their interest. And I'll give you an example of my story. So back in March, I was out at the beach house, and a buddy of mine who's the CEO of an ad agency and I and another friend, we decided to form a board of network marketing professionals that all have different skill sets and strengths in the network marketing profession, because we all really cared about each other and we wanted to work together. So we looked at different companies. We found one that had 3 unique separate verticals, and it was strong enough to withstand hyper growth, and you'll never believe what these 3 verticals are. The value proposition is unlike anything else in the marketplace. And so whatever your story is, okay, it's just a real quick story to pique their interest. Then you move on to step 3, which is the if I would you concept. Step 3, if I would you. So you end the story, which by the way, if you can't think of a story, that's fine. Go to the description of this YouTube video, and I'm actually going to drop a story that I've written out that can pretty much apply to any network marketing company. And it takes about 42 seconds to say in a voice note. I encourage you to tell your story in a voice note or over the phone, okay? You can't convey emotion through text. But step 3 is the if I would you concept. So after you get done with your story, you end it by saying, if I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out and give me your honest feedback? What I like to say, this is just how the little tweak that I've put on this for the company that I'm building is, if I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out and give me your honest feedback so we can hop on the phone and talk, and I could fill you in on the 3 things that are not mentioned in the 12-minute presentation video. I like that because it gets them even more curious and more interested to get on the phone with me, okay? I build a lot through the phone. I like connecting with people, okay? So if I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out and give me your honest feedback so we can hop on the phone and I can tell you what's not in the presentation? Step 4 is to set the follow-up appointment, then send them the information, okay? So the reason why you do it that way is because if you go ahead and you send them the information first, you may not get a follow-up. They might ghost you, okay? You increase your likelihood. So you don't get information from me until you've set a follow-up appointment in concrete. And then step 5 is follow up. So here's what that sounds like. Once I share my story and if I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out and give me your honest feedback so we can hop on the phone and I can fill you in on what isn't in the presentation? They say, oh, at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm like, okay, I'll actually be busy. I've got a call at 7, but I should be wrapped up by about 7:15. Is that cool? They say yes. I'm like, great. By the way, if they're busy, I'm busier. So pretty much whatever time they say, probably gonna just say, I'm busy at that time, I've got something scheduled, I've got a meeting at that, I'm doing a Zoom at that time, a call. Because people relate being busy with being successful, right? And so in the psychology of this here in a minute, I'm gonna explain why that's so important, but they say 7, I'm like, I'm actually gonna be busy at that time, but I'll be wrapped up by about 7:15, is that cool? They say, yeah. I'm like, great, I'll go ahead and send over that information. Definitely look forward to catching up at 7:15. I send them the info, right? And then whenever I follow up at 7:15, what I'm gonna do is about 7 o'clock, I'm gonna shoot them a text and I'm gonna say, hey Steve, just wrapping up a meeting. I'm still good for our 7:15, talk soon. And that gives them enough time to check out the information. Now, if your information is longer, like 30, 45 minutes, text them 30, 45 minutes prior to your appointment. Whenever you follow up, it's a really simple conversation. Hey Steve, did you get a chance to check out the info I sent you? Yeah, I sure did. Great. What'd you like about what you saw is the second question. Well, I like the flux capacitor and the this, that. Yeah, it's my favorite too. Hey, what kind of questions did you have for me? And they say, I had a question about whatever. You've got 2 choices at that point in time, and we're not going to get into the follow-up too much right now, but the 2 choices at that time are set them up for a 3-way call or do an assumptive close, which we'll do a training on the assumptive close also later on. Do an assumptive close as well. So I prefer the 3-way call because it still works to this day very well, and it's one of those things that if done correctly, what you're doing is showing them, you're building credibility in you, your upline, and your company, but you're also showing them duplication. You're showing them they don't have to know everything, they just have to know the people that do. And so you say, what kind of questions did you have for me? And they say, well, I was really curious about, how you get a 6-day, 5-night vacation included with your nutrition pack, or I'm really curious about, how you have the exclusivity rights to this product and da-da-da-da. You say, you know what, that's a great question. I'd be curious what my partner, Jesse, has to say about that. Jesse's been in the company 11 years. He's a multiple 6-figure a month income earner, one of the best trainers that I've ever met in my life, and just an all-around good guy. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to get Jesse on the phone. 1 second. And then you hopefully have let Jesse know that you'll be doing a call with him. Okay, so a couple of things that come to mind in the 5-point recruiting method, which, like I said, it's a very simple recruiting method, right? It's fun, it's conversational. Reach out and catch up, right? Share a story to pique their interest, a quick story. Remember to pique their interest, not to satisfy the interest. Let the tools do the telling and selling for you. Wrap up that story with if I would you. Set the follow-up appointment in concrete, then send them the information, and then follow up, follow up, follow up. Now, Grant Cardone also, in one of his videos, was explaining, it was him and his sales manager, that the percentage of people that buy on the first call is 2%. That's with them, and that's some badass sales professionals, right? So understand the purpose of each exposure is to get them to the next exposure, to continue that conversation, to continue nurturing and developing that relationship. It might take 4 or 5 exposures. You might 3-way call them with one person, introduce them to another, get them on a Zoom later on, but just nurture the relationship, all right? Here's a little bit of psychology. Write this down. Marry the activities, divorce the results. If you're in the right activities with the right attitude, the only possible outcome is results. That's the only thing possible. It's not like I'm great and you're, you got some Egyptian curse on you where, your ancestors opened a sarcophagus and now you can't recruit. That's not how it works, okay? So if you're in the right activities, A plus A equals R. Attitude plus activities equals results 100% of the time. That's how the universe is set up. Okay, so just focus on the activities, okay? And the results take care of themselves. So marry the activities, divorce the results. I would also commit to having a daily minimum number of exposures each day. If it's 3, it's 3. So 3 people a day you reach out to, you catch up, you put them through the exposure process and have the appointment to follow up, right? 3 people a day. And another big tip is fill up your calendar as much as possible and as far out as possible. Okay, if you've got a full calendar each day, you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm talking to, Dave at 4, I'm talking to, Steve at 11, I'm talking to Susan, at 1, and it feels good, and it makes sure that each one of your days are productive. Plus, for me, when I was getting started, time management was a very big challenge because I was working in a factory 12 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I had a lunch at 11 o'clock at night, and I had 30 minutes. I had three-way calls scheduled for that 30-minute lunch break. I had to. So making the most out of your time. So I want to say this in closing as far as the psychology behind this goes. You need to be completely emotionally detached from the outcome of whether they buy or join. Okay, there's 8 billion people, give or take, on the planet. So you need people, you don't need that one, right? And so care about them, but don't care about the outcome of whether they buy or join because there's more people, okay? Hopefully you've made your list, which is day 1, and you're talking to people and you're acting with a sense of urgency and reaching out to folks, catching up, piquing their interest, if I would youing them, right? Setting the follow-up appointment, sending the information and following up. You're doing the 5-point recruiting method consistently because consistency is key. I want to also encourage you to whatever company that you're in, commit to doing this for a year, every single day. And I promise you, in a year, you won't even recognize your life. It'll be that dramatically improved. So I appreciate you. We'd love your feedback in the comments section. And as soon as you try this, share your testimonial and your story in the comments section and let me know your results. I appreciate you. Now you have the 5-point recruiting method and you're one step closer to leveling up as a network marketing professional. Thank you.